Hello, everybody. This is Deacon Tim here, and I want to talk to you a special message right now in Lent, at the beginning of Lent, to talk about Rice Bowl. Do you remember Rice Bowl? Rice Bowl are these little bowls that we hand out on Ash Wednesday, the first week of Lent, and they're available usually in the back of church. Well, this year, there are some available back there, but because of the pandemic, we're doing a virtual Rice Bowl this year. That means that you can just make up your own. Take a cup or a bowl and put it on the dresser or on the kitchen counter, somewhere prominent. Well, you'll think of it and remember it. And maybe I'll post this on the website, but maybe just print out this picture to remind you of Rice Bowl and who we're helping. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So what you can do is just take a bowl or a cup and put it on your dresser or on the counter. And every time you go by, just think about it. Think about the people we're trying to help, the people that I'm going to talk about. And what I'm going to do is talk about them today, but then I'm also going to talk about them during the week. So we hopefully can get together on Saturday mornings and talk about Rice Bowl together so that I can hear what you're doing and we can get different ideas and learn a little more about the people we're helping. Well, first of all, why donate money? Why give money during Lent? Well, Lent's a special time of the year where we prepare for Easter, for the resurrection of our Lord, his suffering and death and resurrection on Easter Sunday. And to prepare for that, we know through the gospel that Jesus went into the desert for 40 days. The church asks us to pray in a special way for fasting for adults. Adults fast, children don't fast, but adults fast, and they abstain from meat on Fridays. And we ask for alms giving. Alms giving is a word from the Old Greek, elos, which means mercy, to give mercy, to help others, to help people that might not be as lucky as you or I. So in collecting money and then pulling it together, and we're going to talk about it later this Lent, but sending it electronically back into CRS, 25% goes to our diocese and 75% go to people around the world. Well, where does that money go? Well, the Rice Bowl Project is sponsored, as I said, by Catholic Relief Services, which is our own Catholic organization. But it's huge. It's just huge, and a lot of people don't really know about it. Each year, they help over 130 million people, 130 million people in over 115 countries around the world. Lots and lots of people. Well, how do they help? That's a great question to ask. How do they help? Well, first of all, CRS has employees in all of these different countries. They have over 6,500 employees around the world in these different countries, and they work through the Catholic dioceses in those countries. So they already have a bit of an infrastructure, and they have friends in high places, if you will, that can help organize and help them get things done. They're ready to help in emergencies. If there's a typhoon or an earthquake or famines or disasters, CRS is there on the ground, ready to help. They also shelter refugees who are leaving their homes due to famines, due to violence or wars or climate change. Vast numbers of people. Some of these refugee centers have over 500,000 people in them, and CRS won't handle the whole refugee center, but they might do sanitation or they might do water. They'll help in ways where they have expertise in that area. But they mostly help people who are struggling to survive. People that can just barely make it. And they help them with things that they've learned from helping other people in other countries. They see what works and what doesn't work. They can grow the same crops better or grow other crops that might give them a better product to bring to the market. So they advise them on different products to raise. They also help them market their crops better. Cassava is like a root plant, like a big, funny looking potato, if you will. But if you cut it up into little pieces and lay it out in the sun to dry, you can get a better price for that product in the market than you can if you sell the tubular plant itself. Little things like that help. They also, in small villages, I've seen how CRS instructs groups of homemakers, mostly women, set up little banks where they can save money and borrow from each other to do a project, to buy something to take to the market, or to buy a sewing machine so they can sew and sell products. They set up water programs to irrigate crops and to create solar-powered pumps that pump the water up to a big tank so they can provide water to the entire village. Why do we do these things? Why do we want to do these things? Well, if you look at the readings for last Wednesday, for Ash Wednesday, the second reading is from Corinthians. And it's from the second book of Corinthians, second letter to Corinthians. And St. Paul really, he talks to the Corinthians, but he's talking to us. Brothers and sisters, we are ambassadors for Christ. As if God were appealing through us. We implore you on behalf of Christ to try to do something to be reconciled to God. For our sake he made him to be sin who did not know sin, so that we might become the righteousness of him, of God in him. Working together then, we appeal to you not to receive the grace of God in vain. For he says, in an acceptable way, and in an acceptable time I heard you, and on the day of salvation I helped you. Behold, now is a very acceptable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. In this reading from St. Paul, we're called to be ambassadors, to be people to reach out to others on a special mission from Jesus himself. This year, on Rice Bowl, and we'll talk about this, I'll have a little video each week on Sundays, but this year we're looking and learning a little bit more about Madagascar, Timor-Leste, and El Salvador, 3 different countries and 3 different groups of people that really could use our help. So what I'd like you to do is tune in, if you could, on Zoom on Saturday at 11 to tell me what you're doing. And in the meantime, why don't you set up your little rice bowl project and invite your mom and dad and your brothers and sisters to help with you. Please call me at the parish. I have a phone and an answering service now there where you can leave me a message, or just send me an email, and I'll set you up with a link to our talk, our Zoom together next Saturday, so you can tell me what you're doing for Rice Bowl this Lent for the next 5 weeks. My email address is deacontim@holynameparish.com. God bless you. Thank you for listening today, and I look forward to talking with you this Lent. Take care. Bye-bye.